dive into this. So, as of last night, a lot of people are concerned about our offense. A lot of people are concerned about the state of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Has the offense become stagnant, or do you think that teams have figured a way out of beating the Steelers as far as the defense against a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers? And so I'm asking that question. Do you think because of what just happened, how it seemed to me that our tight ends that were normally involved in the 12 package personnel, they seem to disappear after the second half. There was a lot of parts on the offense that I thought could have been better. I thought that Aaron Rodgers looked a little stale. He looked a little like the lights were too big. I'm starting to see a trend on Sunday Night Football, and it's a concern to me, not only because he's 41 years old. If you can look at the stats, do you have the stats up? What you got, Tony?
Yeah, I did get the stats. So if we just to get started, total yards wise, we only got 221 yards total. We had 148 passing yards, 73 rushing yards. We had 11 first downs versus our competitor, the Chargers, who had 18 first downs. They had 314 yards total yards. So you see the discrepancy there.
Yes.
And ultimately, everybody who watched the game knows the score was Pittsburgh 10, Chargers 25. But the game did not look like that. It looked a lot. No, it was a lot more dominated than that. But the score didn't really reflect that. Any particular stats you're looking for? Because it's a lot of stats. Aaron Rodgers 16 out of 31, which is horrible.
Come on, man. That is. I would say, out of his season, even with the Jets, this was his worst performance from last year. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I would say watching him, and I didn't watch the Jets season all last year, but the games that I did see, these numbers weren't in his favor at all.
Yeah,
by far.
I don't know why I'm having a feeling it's like, and see, this is the thing though, and I can't blame it all on Rodgers, because some play calling has a lot to do with it as well. I don't know. You tell me if I'm looking at this wrong. So I noticed that when Washington plays, they get yards. Why did he didn't play yesterday? I didn't see him yesterday. Was he injured?
Well, no. We saw Darnell Washington. Shout out to the Georgia Bulldog, Darnell Washington. You are a dog, and hopefully you have a bright future ahead of you as a tight end. I think you're an amazing player. I think you're a team player. You can line up and play him as tackle. This guy can block. He's a big, physical, nasty guy out there on the perimeter. So shout out to him. But I think what happened was Darnell Washington got taken out the game because he had a nice reception. I think.
It said 15 yards. 15
yards, and that was a dart from Aaron Rodgers that he miraculously caught that ball. And then after that, they decided to take him out the game. But it was more on he was utilized, but you remember we had a pectoral injury with Isaac Seumalo. So Isaac Seumalo was out of the game. And so that meant that Broderick had to take more snaps as far as blocking. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So his role.
That's what Washington was doing, more blocking. Okay.
Yeah. So his role as tight end kind of diminished because of the injury with Isaac Seumalo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So so that's what happened. And then Aaron Rodgers was not accurate. I don't know what was going on with him. Maybe his sciatica nerve started bothering him or something like that. At the age of 41 years old, stuff like that, you got to take in consideration.
Body start falling apart, especially you're getting hit.
Yeah.
But the two interceptions. Now, one of the interceptions I know was his fault.
Man.
So and I cringed. It's like, it's like, I mean, they say he, according to the commentators, he takes care of the ball throughout his career.
Yes.
So, I mean, it didn't look like he was getting pressured that bad. I mean, maybe it was just a particular play, but
Yeah.
I mean, the Lions seem to be doing okay. Because I don't recall. I'm trying to see if how many sacks did he get any sacks?
Aaron Rodgers got sacked a few times. Troy Fontanu gave up a sack. Broderick Jones gave up a sack as well. It was just a nasty game from Aaron Rodgers. But let's go to Mike Tomlin after the game, and let's see what Mike Tomlin had to say about his team and how Aaron Rodgers performed.
To the LA Chargers, specifically Jesse Minter, I thought their collective did the job. Shoot, it's probably midway of the fourth quarter before we converted a third down. And you're not going to win football games not converting third down and losing the turnover battle. And we certainly were loose with the ball in several instances and didn't convert enough third downs. And so that's the end result. There's nothing mystical about it. We'll be back. We'll be better. We have to be, but we certainly weren't tonight. Slay was out. He's in the concussion protocol. We'll see where that leads us this week. The rest is bumps and bruises associated with play. Joey Porter Jr. went back in the game. Questions?
With McConkey being so effective, did you think about moving Jalen back into the slot at all?
McConkey caught 4 passes. Certainly that last one was the biggest one, but that wasn't the reason we lost this football game.
Any reason to explain why Aaron was off today?
I'm sorry?
Any reason you can explain why Aaron was off
today? We as an offensive collective were off today, and certainly he's a component of that. I'll let him speak for himself, but we certainly got to be better. Didn't feel like they did anything unanticipated, but certainly they outperformed us, particularly in possession down play.
What are you working on from a consistency standpoint offensively that you'd like to see improve?
Third down.
How concerning is it to have this offensive performance when things have been clicking off this point?
It's football. It's life. We'll be back.
What gives you the confidence that you'll be back?
53 years of life, and particularly in this business.
So Aaron's level of experience gives you the same sort of confidence in him personally being able to rebound?
I'm not lacking confidence. I don't need a pat on the back. We stunk it up tonight. We'll be back.
Yeah, he was right about that. The third, I was just looking at the stats. So 2 of 11 on third down.
2 of 11 on third down.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Tony? Okay, so you have a Darnell Washington, which we know his primary assignment was the block. He's one of the more blocking tight ends, right? To take place of Troy Isaac Seumalo. You also have Pat Freiermuth. With that many skilled tight ends, you would think that we can convert on third downs.
Yeah, I mean, now I will say this because I'm sitting up here looking at receiving yards, and he spreads the ball around a lot, which I do like that. If I'm going to say anything positive, I do like the fact that Rodgers will spread the ball around, because I'm looking right here. Metcalf had 3 receptions. Roman Wilson had 2. Pat Freiermuth had 2. Jaylen Warren had 2. Darnell Washington 1. Calvin Austin 2. Kenneth Gainwell, which 2 of them are backs, but the point is that he's spreading the ball around. He's not just throwing it to one guy.
That's true, but he also missed Jonnu Smith. That's the tight end from Miami.
That's the last guy. 1 for 4. He was 1 for 4.
Right.
1 for 4 yards. So it's he's spreading the ball around, which I think is good. I just feel like it's like in critical plays, it's like they can't convert, and that's the problem. Especially when the coach said, third downs, man. Come on, man. You cannot win games not converting on third down, man.
You
just can't. It wasn't like the Chargers did much better. They was 6 for 17, but at least they converted.
Right. That's true. And they did. And at the end of the day, but something needs to happen. We're pushing the middle of the season, and this is a time where your offense needs to find a groove. we were a little high on the Steelers after beating the Colts last
which
week.
is a great win. I mean, you can't take that away from them because I think they turned around and won right after that. So it wasn't like
Right.
So I mean, it was a good win, but I feel like, and this is the problem I've always had with the Steelers, and I always feel like they're not consistent. They're very inconsistent in wins and losses. It's like, I mean, they'll go to I would love to see them win 4 games or 5 games in a row. I mean, now, let me tell you, because last year I believe they did win like 4 games in a row, and then they lost, or was it? Yeah, I think because they took.
They did. Well, they won 4 games back to back. A few with Justin Fields, and then the game with Russ playing in Cincinnati, and they put up 30-some points in Cincinnati. Yeah. So, but then like towards the end of the season, that's when they kind of like took a nosedive and lost in the playoffs.
And I know it's too late to complain, but I was whining and crying because of the fact that they took Justin Fields out. I felt like they should have let him play that season out. I mean, I know why they didn't. I understand why they didn't, but I felt like they should have. Because the outcome, to me, the outcome still would have been the same if you know what I'm saying. I feel like the outcome that we had last year would have been the same whether he played or not played, but they should have let him play it through.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Do you think mobility will be an issue going towards the end of the season when it comes down to Aaron Rodgers?
I would say that. See, I always feel like that's not always the case if your offensive line is protecting them, because I mean, I always go back to some of the greats who they sat in the pocket and won games the whole time. So I feel like that if the line is protecting him good enough for him to have time to for people to run their routes and stuff like that, then it shouldn't be a problem. But I don't know if our line is good enough to protect him, because I saw it collapse quite a few times yesterday. And Rodgers really, he his mobility is a question, because when he did get out of the pocket, it was like they were on him.
Right.
They were on him.
Yeah.
So I mean, what? But the thing is, again, most of the time, if you have because I really consider him more of a pocket passer because of the fact of his age, not because historically he was. It's just like because of his age. It's only so much you can do against a 21-year-old.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, at the end of the day, his cadence and his brilliant mind has got him to where he is now at 41, and let's not take away from him. I mean, he's an MVP player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
He's just
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
All that.
Yeah, he's going to definitely get that gold jacket.
Right, it's what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, and speaking of such, right now, what have you done for me lately? Let's go to Aaron Rodgers in his press conference after the loss against the Chargers.
A lot of stuff wasn't working. We were bad on third down. I was just a little bit off. I missed DK early. Could have been a big play. A little high to Jonnu. But yeah, we didn't run the ball super effectively in the first half. I missed obviously some throws for sure, and then we weren't getting guys open and just put it all together. Times that guys were open, I missed some throws I usually make.
And missing those throws, was it something that they were doing to affect you, or was it something that you felt like you were just off tonight?
I just missed a couple throws.
Third down efficiency was the problem. What were they doing?
Plastering our guys.
What would you say was your struggles today?
We didn't run the ball as well as we usually do, and then we didn't get open, and I didn't play as well as I usually do.
And you started running the ball in the second half. You guys changed something?
No, we changed a couple of runs, but no, we just, Jalen made some really nice plays. He's a talented guy. We got to get him more touches.
What you said in the